Well, when we hear this music on Wednesday mornings at 10 o'clock, we know we're halfway through the work week. It's time for your Berkshire Hathaway bi-weekly podcast. Can't wait. Been a while. We'll be talking with realty expert Adam Helgeson right after this.
What would tomorrow look like if you sold your house today? Maybe you'd move to a new city or a new country. Maybe you'd pick up birding or birdies. You could get into wine. Not that into wine. Or skiing. Warmer skiing. Or maybe you'd spend more time doing nothing at all. When you're ready for whatever comes next, we'll be ready to help you get there. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services.
All right, man, it's been a hot minute since we've seen this guy. In fact, I thought he was due the last couple of weeks, so he said I'd probably miss him. But here we go. Realty expert Adam Helgeson is in the studio. How you doing, bud?
Outstanding as always.
Outstanding.
Busy. It's been nuts.
Maybe I did miss you. I don't know, but the last 2 weeks I thought it was you. I even had you written in.
Wow.
And had to cross it out because it was not you.
You just missed my smile.
That had to have been. You're outstanding. You're a farmer. You were a farmer. Outstanding in your field. There we go.
There we go. Wow.
How's life going?
It is crazy busy right now. Like I'm running everywhere.
Like work busy, life busy, all combined busy.
Both. Mostly work busy. I don't know how any agent can say they're slow right now because it is. I can't keep up.
Or should we rephrase that and say, I don't know how any good agent can say they're slow right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like that. What is that commercial? You can't say we're the best, you know?
Oh, yeah. What's his?
What can't we say? That you're the best. Oh, you just said it.
Morgan Freeman. Yeah. That is a good one. You know, every once in a while, you guys will come up with not every once in a while, the terminology used in the realty world. I try to stay up on it. But last week, I know there was a couple of things I didn't know, and she filled me in on it. One I don't really know, and you can kind of assume with the title or what it's called, but fair housing is a term we hear all the time. So for the people like me that really don't know what fair housing means, what does it mean, and why does it matter?
You know, fair housing. It's kind of like the participation trophies, right?
Oh, okay.
So it's got to be fair. Everyone gets a house.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you go look at a house, you get it. No, I'm just kidding.
That's not fair.
No, fair housing was signed into law in 1968. It was kind of a landmark of the civil rights movement. It outlaws discrimination in housing.
Okay,
right?
The Fair Housing Act. Okay.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. So you can't discriminate against race, color, religion, sex, national origin, family status, disability. You know.
So you can't tell me I cannot buy a house because I'm so darn good looking?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I always cover that. So when I sit down and do my buyer's briefs.
Nope, you're too good looking.
that's not outlawed by the civil rights.
Okay.
Fair housing. So I can say, yes, you are too attractive for this neighborhood. That's why you're in the country where no one can see you.
That's why I hide behind this microphone. Yeah, that's why I live in the country where no one can see me.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it was originally passed a week after Dr. Martin Luther King. And I always do like a buyer's brief where we sit down and go over all the forms and everything. And I always talk about, you know, fair housing and non-discrimination. And, you know, I was just kind of bringing it up lightheartedly. I was with a African-American family. It was a mixed couple. And I was like, you know, like I can't discriminate. So if you say you don't want to live next to white people, you know what I mean? I can't discriminate.
Sure. Right.
And the husband, who was African-American, goes, damn, I want to live next to white people. Black people are a bunch of assholes. And I'm like, whoa. No, you can't say that. Like, no.
You see Adam over there.
Yeah, no, I was like, no. So, I mean, the Fair Housing Act applies to buying, renting, lending, and any other housing services. So what does that mean when it comes to landlords and stuff, right? We can't refuse to show or sell a home based on someone's race or religion. I remember I had a showing at a house here in town, and the couple showed up, and the wife was wearing one of those, you know, head garbs. It wasn't like the one where you can't see their face, but it was, and I got a call from the seller. and they're like, "Hey, my neighbor just called me and said, hey, whoever was just at the house, don't sell the house to them."
Oh boy.
And I was like, "What are you talking about? They were the nicest
Yeah.
family ever." Like, that kind of pissed me off. You know, I was
Did,
just
did
like,
the neighbor heed their advice or not?
no, the client decided they didn't want that house
Okay,
anyways.
okay.
But I was just like, really? I wanted to know what neighbor it was. I was going to go have a talk with him.
Yeah,
But
no kidding.
You know, and then it comes down to too is in our listing descriptions. That's why you can't say man cave or she shed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can't.
No
say,
kidding.
You can't say perfect for young couples or, mother-in-law suite, right? Because it can be used more for that. Like even
Oh my goodness.
even master bedroom is a term we're not supposed to use anymore because that goes back to slave owners.
Sure.
So it's supposed
oh
to be
my gosh.
owner's suite or primary bedroom.
Yeah.
So
How hard is that though? The way we grow up, I mean, I kind of pride myself on my vocabulary and being politically correct, and I know you do too, and I know pretty much everybody at Berkshire Hathaway does, and it's just normal conversation, and we know there's nothing bad about it, but when the world starts turning into things like that, that kind of makes a guy go, what?
yeah, apparently you don't know me very well because I am not very politically correct. So
You know when to say things and when not to say
Yes.
things and who to say them to. And who would have ever thought a master bedroom would be a no-no?
Yeah.
You know,
Yes,
it's
yes,
just part of our
master.
term. Yeah, yes, okay.
So, and then too, it kind of goes into steering, where, let's say you have someone that, I don't know, you're like, yeah, you might be happier in this part of town. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Or whatever. Your agents and landlords or whatever are trying to steer them away from neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Or,
I've seen a lot of those situations now on social media where a guy will walk into a car dealership that sells like Rolls Royces and the high
yeah.
dollar, and they pretty much usher him out the door going, you can't afford this. Well, then you find out it's his dad's lot or he owns it or whatever. But I'm sure that happens here too because, guys, I remember back in my construction days, there was no electronic anything.
Yeah.
It was hard to pay your rent. It was hard to get to the bank because you were always at work and everything was closed by the time you got done. But if I went to go look at a house and say I get a hold of you, realty expert Adam Helgeson, and I'm still in my work clothes, I'm going to look like a bum, And so you got to think people are even thinking after what you just said, yeah, you can't afford to live around here.
Yeah.
But, maybe I clean up nice, you know?
Yeah, you never know. Some people that dress all fancy and try and show off are the most in debt.
Sure,
So
sure.
you can't judge.
And thank goodness that you tell them to go get approved for a lender first.
Yes,
There
yeah.
you go.
We'll leave it up to the banks to judge.
There you go. There you go.
But no, we just got to watch our language. We got to avoid words like Christian neighborhood or hey, this is a safe part of town because that's all. Everyone's definition of safe is different.
Sure.
So we have to stick to property details, not necessarily buyer preferences. Online ads are just as regulated for social media and all that. You got to be very careful. That could be a legal minefield by putting out the wrong ad because realtors are cutthroat.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
You post something and they're going to turn you in. Or
oh, sure. Radio's the same way.
Yep.
You deal with it. And that's too bad because a lot of the people, if they reach out to you, Adam, and they're looking for a particular something in a neighborhood or whatever, they're going to just flat out say it. And,
So
and
that's
then
fine.
what do you do?
Yes.
Off record, you say, well, really, this is, but you just can't put it out there publicly.
No, if they ask, you know what I mean? If they ask for certain specifics, we can say, hey, here's the website. Look at the crime statistics by neighborhood. We can,
Okay.
same thing goes for like sexual predators and sexual offenders. We can't tell them if one lives next door or whatever. Say, hey, here's the website that shows
Here's
up.
the public information.
Here's the information to look up. It's same thing goes. It's a little off fair housing, but as an agent, let's say this wall's cracked in half. I can't say this is broken. I am not a licensed contractor.
Oh, boy.
I can say, hey, this does not look right to me. We need to get this inspected. Because if the homeowner finds out I'm saying their house is broken and I'm not a licensed contractor, they can sue me for degradation.
So if you were a licensed contractor and a licensed realtor, you could say it,
I could
and
say
it'd be
it.
perfectly fine.
Correct.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. So,
Even though you were probably this close to being able to be a licensed contractor,
yeah,
I
North
mean, you
Dakota,
do all that stuff.
Yeah, the $200 fee or whatever North
Right.
Dakota charges, I could just do that.
Sure,
So,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, the North Dakota follows the federal law, but also enforces, through the North Department of Labor and Human Rights. So, the HUD houses and stuff like that, you can file discrimination through HUD. Smaller communities, it's crazy. It's a little more subtle. The
Sure it is. Right.
you get it.
You don't have as much diversity either in the smaller communities.
Yes, exactly. I just sold a house in Crookston, and my client was ecstatic because they were a mixed race family, and she's like, "This is great. Let's bring some diversity to the neighborhood." You know what I mean? And
Sure.
So, but some people, it's just like, okay, well, it's tough. People are set in their ways.
Yeah.
and,
I know. It's. Have you had to tweak your style of what you do then because of some of these changes, or
I mean, this has been around since before I was an agent.
Yeah, but
you
I mean,
know?
not being able to call it a master suite or a master bedroom or your mother-in-law's, addition or whatever, or a she shed, for Pete's sakes.
I kind of not really joke with it, but my clients are like, "Oh, this must be the master suite." I'm like, unless you were a slave owner, it's not a master suite. This
Yeah,
is the
yeah.
primary bedroom, and they just kind of roll their eyes and look at me. I'm like, you got to be
Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what to say. I had another guy that it was like a bedroom into a bathroom into a master closet, but then there was another little office room off of that. Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Man, we could hide this office room and then turn that into our sex dungeon." I'm like,
Oh,
okay,
boy.
I don't know if that falls into fair housing. How does that? I can't talk about this. But yeah, you get some different ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just kind of talking about it, fair housing, we as agents, we have to do fair housing training. I
Yeah.
want to say every other year. So it's, it even goes into people like discriminating on price. Like,
Yeah.
okay, well, if it's this family, we'll do this. But yeah, that family. And that's kind of where they went. People used to write letters and stuff too as agents and say, hey, send a personal letter with the offer about how they're a nice young family and they love to see their kids grow up in this. and
sure,
blah, blah, blah.
sure.
Can't do that anymore.
Like a letter of recommendation.
It's kind of like a personal letter why they love their house. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, granted, people get attached to their house.
Oh, absolutely they do.
And they don't
their
wanna
house,
s-
their neighborhood, their
Yeah,
neighbors.
they don't want to see it go to an investor and just have it rented and be trashed. Another
Right.
client that told me that because there's people that are buying up everything around the college. And this lady's like, if it's one of those investors, it's going to be 30% higher.
Oh, yeah. There's a
like,
lot of people that feel that way, though.
Yep. They wanted a nice, family or whatever to take over the house. And, she's like, our neighbors are so awesome. I don't want them having college kids
Right.
renting and whatever.
So it seems like no matter who you talk to, it seems like somebody's always getting hurt feelings, no
It
matter how
is.
you talk to them and
Yes.
who it is.
Yeah. So we just got to, remember the training we do. When in doubt, you should ask yourself, would I say this or do this if the person was right in front of me? Right? Like,
But you would fail that half the time.
probably. But
And I've never once had any of that. You and I joke all the time.
Yeah.
I know when you're serious and when you're not, and I've never been offended by what you say. So
yeah, I know. My
Yeah.
mouth does get me in trouble sometimes. But
let's say so does mine.
yeah, I mean, this isn't to me. This isn't about the wokeness.
Right,
'Cause
right.
I hate all that woke stuff. It's about equal opportunity.
Absolutely.
Being in the military, I don't see color.
Yeah, right.
We were all green, whatever.
Yep.
I judge on character. If you're an asshole, you're an asshole, and that's how you get treated.
Absolutely.
If you're
Assholes
kind,
come in every color, shape, form, and size.
Yeah, but when it comes to housing, everyone's the same.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everyone has the same opportunity, and yeah, it's just you just gotta shoot them straight. So I get upset when people do that, and yeah, I've had my fair share of conversations and kind of getting angry at people when it comes to this, because like I said, you have to stick up for your clients, and they're humans just like everyone else.
Absolutely.
How
does somebody get a hold of human realty expert Adam Helgeson?
The best way is my cell phone, which is 701-317-1750. Check out my website, homesbyhelgeson.com. Or call any of us real estate experts at Berkshire Hathaway at 701-746-0303.
Well, you have fun on your busy day, and we'll get together again Friday morning.
Sounds good.
All right, there you go. Your Wednesday edition of the Berkshire Hathaway Biweekly Podcast. Of course, realty expert Adam Helgeson in the studio. Until Friday morning when he's back, have yourself a great day, everybody.